substantially with the provisions of the law. So let nobody gaslight you. Oh, we have been cheated. Somebody will vote in polling unit A, and when result, because a candidate he wants wins his polling unit, when the total result is announced and his preferred candidate loses, he will say the election has been rigged, as if the totality of the votes for election is determined by only your own polling units. Polling units make up wards. Wards make up local governments. Local government make up states. For example, in Edo State now, we have 18 local governments. Results must come from the returning officer of each local government. And what I said earlier on is that once a election has been conducted at the polling unit, at the ward level, if there's discrepancies from the polling unit, it will be resolved at the ward level. If it's not resolved at the ward level, the result will never go to the local government. It will never. Because there are several, all these levels of the process as stakeholders. You have the party agents, you have observers, you have the security agents, and even the media if they want to. So for you to play games, it means you must have compromised everybody, and which is very difficult. So every step has checks and balances. When people come up and say, oh, we have been robbed, any right-thinking person should say, provide the evidence of how you have been robbed. Is it at the police station? Is it at the ward? Is it at the local government? Is it at the... But when somebody just comes up and make bogus statements that how can the party have this score, is it your duty to determine the number of people that should vote for a particular party? No. And even when parties collate their results, it is not their responsibility to announce it. It's a violation of the law. The responsibility to announce results by law rests squarely with INEC. Any party that does that is going against the law, and it is time we start clamoring for sanctions such that we will the big stick against our politicians who want to incite us because they have lost elections. Elections should not be a do or die affair. It should be a contest, a competition. You win, you smile. You lose, you are bitter, but you know I will come back another day. It's not the end of the world. But unfortunately, we want to incite violence because we know we have lost. When we know we have another chance to come again, maybe in 4 years' time, if we know what we are doing.
So whatever the outcome, it should be received in good faith.
It should be received in good faith. It could be received with reservation. It could be received with, I do not agree with this result, but the legal and the...
Well, those state people, we are back again on this saddle, and I just want to see this through. The final results have actually, come in. What they are doing right now at the collation center is they are trying to tally all the results so that they can announce the final results, and of course, after that, name and tell us who has been, selected or elected, who's been named as the governor-elect of Edo State. But based on what we can put together, having looked at all of the results already, collated, we can project very firmly right now that Monday Okpebholo of the APC has, where is to be named the governor-elect of Edo State in the Edo 2024 governorship election. Monday Okpebholo is to be named. In this case, it's going to be announced as having been elected as the governor-elect of Edo State. Governor Okpebholo would be the one to take over from Governor Godwin Obaseki, who today appears quite dejected, who today appears quite unsettled. I've seen some pictures of the governor, the outgoing governor, flying around. Of course, that's a very disappointed man out there in some of those pictures that are flying around. But so that's the projection. That's what the results collated already tells us. The last result was to come from Igbobaoka, which PDP carried. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what the last result was going to be telling us. From what is already happening here, what we've seen, having collated all results, it means that Monday Ukbewulu of the APC has been officially elected. But again, people have reasons to, say different things. In my own opinion, this election was hugely flawed, and it's unfortunate. We've made that case very strongly. It was hugely flawed, irrespective of the outcome, and I consider it quite a shame. And I consider it's very embarrassing. It's a very low moment in our politics at the moment. So let's take a listen to this. Credit to TVC on this.
Circulation officer.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we have Form EC8E. That is the form that we are going to fill for the declaration of the winner of the election. You can see it's sealed. It has not been opened, and so we are going to open it now. Stamp it.
After which the tally would be done and the winner of this contest announced.
us who were around in 1999, we witnessed the election. In 2003, what we had was not what can be described as election by any measurement or standard. That was the year we had people like Mike Tyson on our ballot, on our voters register. In those states, palm kernel voted. Palm trees, pictures were used as pictures of eligible voters. It was all sort of fraud. What was called the voters register in Nigeria then. But over the years, 21 years after, we made a lot of progress through the advocacy of Nigerians, through advocacy of the civil society, the media, and through the cooperation of the National Assembly. We've been able to advance the course of our election by achieving electronic registration of voters, which we started. The biometric voters accreditation system came. Now we have advanced to the extent that now we now have a portal where real-time results can be transmitted. Even before we get to the electronic voting. If we can now compute our result electronically to the extent that why this result, like in Edo State, it was almost 100% yesterday, loading of report results on IREF, it means we can also advance to the extent that result can be tabulated real time and actual voting per party is shown real time, and that by the end of every election day, we already know the winner without going unnecessarily to scamper for where to sit at the collation center, as the case is now. Then we can now begin to talk about electronic voting, which will look like the final stage. Everything is subject to advancement technologically. But I think now we must shift our advocacy as Nigerians, as media, as civil society to the next phase of technological advancement in our election, which is the electronic computation of our result, which must be made legal through the necessary amendment to our electoral law. Because as it is today, as beautiful as the IRF is, it is not yet still admissible as a legal tool for announcement of election results in Nigeria. Election results, irrespective of what you have seen on the IRF, are still going to be announced at the collation center, at the ward, at the local government, and like what we are seeing currently as the state collation center. So we must move away from this culture of waiting for pen and paper to tabulate results and allow a system where technology will bring out real-time, tally of our election results without unnecessarily wasting time. This is second day of this election, and if care is not taken, we will run into the third day. We do hope it doesn't extend beyond today.
All right. And coming to you, Nelson, earlier, Kayode was saying something about some of the gimmicks adopted by some of these politicians to scuttle the process, uniting, against.
Yes, I think it is important for us to tell ourselves the basic truth that the propensity of man to be mischievous cannot be measured, is immeasurable. And the fact remains that the electoral umpire has upped its game. The human element that the politicians now deploy is another thing entirely. For example, he has given you a vivid illustration whereby I'm a candidate in an election, and for me to compromise your own fortune there, I can even induce your party agents. I can induce your party agents to look the other way. But the beauty of it is that with the beavers, even when I induce your party agents, the total number of votes must tally with the number recorded on the beavers machine. What I can only do is that maybe when voters come to the polling stations and I'm openly inducing them by saying, vote for my party. If your party agent was up and doing, he will resist, he will raise alarm. I won't even be able to do it. I'll be doing it discreetly. So if your party agents now compromise and you allow me to run a wire, don't forget the electoral empire has made it possible such that only somebody with a PVC can vote, because the Beavers machine must accredit you. If it doesn't accredit you, you cannot vote. We have seen cases where when results are brought to the ward from the polling station, because when results are brought from the polling station, that's another education we need to give our viewers. The ward INEC officer checks the results of the polling stations vis-a-vis the Beavers machine, where 125 people are recorded as being accredited on the Beavers, and you bring result sheet that the total number of votes is 130. It means there has been a manipulation in the number of ballot papers you gave out. It means 5 people who were not accredited have voted. And because we cannot determine who the 5 people are, the automatic thing is to cancel the result of that polling station. So the human element is a very difficult thing to address. But INEC has used technology to limit everybody. So if INEC has done that, and even as a party, like he has said, somebody returns 99% result for a particular political party, once the party that has lost that election is not raising any eyebrow, no complaint, in law, when there's no complainant, there's no case.
That's true.
So if I'm not raising complaint because of
the court is not a Father Christmas.
Yes, if I'm not raising complaint because of cultural family ties, it's just, for example, if my son is assuming my son is not, so that people will not say I said it on air. Once a son or a family member comes into my house, cuts away all my property, everybody sees that my house has been burgled. Will you go and report to the police on my behalf? You can't. Because the police will ask you, go and bring, is it your property that was stolen?
Go
and bring the receipt. If the police come to me and say, Mr. Nelson, we heard that your house was burgled. If I tell the police my house was not burgled, will the police force me to come and write statement? So that's just it. So long as people who have been shortchanged have not deemed fit to take the necessary action, we are hamstrung. There's nothing we can do.
All right. So it means that somehow, and that's where the law exists, really. That's why the courts exist. The tribunal,
yes,
to start with, you table your grievances.
With facts.
Yes, with evidence. The court would always say, we are no Father Christmas.
Femi Lawson was talking about the IREV. Under the Constitution, the IREV is a viewing portal. The courts has made it clear that under the Constitution, the IREV is not a collation center.
You mean the Electoral Act now?
Yes, the IREV is not
because the Constitution has not been updated after the IREV.
The Electoral Act, the IREV is not a collation center. It's like what happened in the 2023 election. It's like you watching a football match. A goal has been scored. The referee has confirmed from VAR. The referee has pointed to the center.
Yes.
The other team has gone there to pass. And somebody now say because the goal didn't come on the electronic scoreboard, then we should assume a goal was not scored. Abba. The law under the Constitution and the Electoral Act, it says manual and electronic transmission. But because we know we have technology challenges, you were talking about the uploading of results on IREV, the presidential election. If you recollect, on that day, I was an observer. I was going around. I met a lot of people, ordinarily.
Those state people, let's just remind ourselves that at the collation center, they are putting all the results together now on the final sheet. And thereafter, we expect them to announce the results, the final results. And we can project affirmatively based on the result read out so far that Monday Ukbewulu, Senator Monday Ukbewulu of the APC would be declared the governor-elect of Edo State. Senator Monday Ukbewulu, we are projected, will be declared the governor-elect of Edo State. Senator Monday Ukbewulu of the APC is projected to be declared the governor-elect of Edo State 2024. And that is the situation. Based on the results so far read out, we can affirmatively project that Monday Ukbewulu will be announced the governor of Edo State. The issue of the process is a matter that has become highly subjective. To APC members and their supporters, theirs is that this was a well-conducted election. There were no hitches. It was free and fair to them. Of course, to supporters of the PDP and the PDP members, they are crying foul, crying wolf. And to the average Edo State man, whatever played out today in this election is a tragedy in very many respects because this was a compromised process. And that is the view I hold. I think that I believe this was a very compromised process. I also hope that we can look inwards. Unfortunately, we are going down the drain. It doesn't look like there is hope on the horizon. But that said, Senator Monday Ukbewulu, as this stand, would assume the office of the governor of Edo State by the end of the tenure of Governor Obaseki, which is expected to be in November. That's about 2 months from now. Based on the outcome of the result read out so far, we can firmly, affirmatively project that Senator Monday Ukbewulu will be announced as the governor of Edo State, governor-elect of Edo State, Senator Monday Ukbewulu. It's on how do I say, under normal circumstances, I am supposed to be saying congratulations, which I still would say congratulations. The reason is because what is normal in Nigeria, particularly on the political, in the sense of politics, what has been normalized or what has become normal is it's an aberration, when it comes to different climes. For instance, in other societies of the world that some of us know, whatever has happened right now in this Edo State election is not acceptable. But this is what is acceptable in Nigeria. And so this is what has become the new norm, what is become the new normal, as it were. Corruption, subverting the will of the people is the new normal. So at the end of the day, Senator Monday Ukbewulu, we start getting a barrage of congratulations, with everybody accepting, that victory under this kind of arrangement is worth, congratulating and all of that. And that is our own, normal, as it were. It's an aberration elsewhere. It's an aberration everywhere where sane people, sane-minded people live. But this is actually what is our normal. So which makes our truth become highly subjective, not following the definition of truth at the end of the day. So on that scale, I will say congratulations to Monday Ukbewulu. His party and himself have prevailed, except that their victory right now, in quote, is yet again a testimony or a testament to the great damage being done to Edo State politics vis-a-vis the Nigerian politics. So we will, reiterate and project further to say that Senator Monday Ukbewulu will take over from Governor Godwin Obaseki. Senator Monday Ukbewulu is the governor-elect of Edo State based on the result of the Edo 2024 election that has been read out. So we project is going to be announced as the governor-elect of Edo State. That is the situation. I earlier, before I came online just now, somebody was asking me, what do you think Governor Obaseki will be doing right now? I think he will be dejected. Some pictures are already flying about him and all of that. That's Governor Obaseki out there. I think that's PDB situation room. It's looking quite helpless. As a matter of fact, he sat here apparently looking helpless because of how this process has turned out. It was a do or die affair for him, but there's so much he can do. We cannot, repeat it enough to say that he is the architect of the outcome of this particular election. And it has become inevitable from the results read out so far that this man, Senator Monday Ukbewulu, will be taking over from Governor Godwin Obaseki. Senator Monday Ukbewulu is currently, based on results read out so far, the governor-elect of Edo State. And he will be our governor. Senator Monday Ukbewulu will be our governor for the next 4 years, except, of course, anything would change by way of the court process. At the moment, let me take us back to the situation room, back to the INEC Collation Center for proceedings. I'll be back shortly.
Beavers, that election is zero, is null and void. So that's also part of the transparency to help you. But as much as we are talking about that 50, if you don't have an agent or if you don't have the power to put somebody there to monitor it, it's not unlikely that party A that has a stronghold there will tell all the people who are coming to vote, this is the party you must support, but you must be rest assured that those are voters for that polling unit, not that they will import. You know, in the past, somebody will just one person with thumbprint multiple is no longer applicable.
Or you stay in one bush and begin to
it does not happen again.
That's true.
Yes. So those are part of the engagements, and this thing you have spoken about is something we can continue to think and see what is the way forward, because it's about our tomorrow, about our society. So it's a good observation.
Yeah, and making our democracy better.
Yeah.
And as you've also, made a case for this actually being included, not just in the Electoral Act, but progressing even to the Constitution to reflect the fact that we are moving forward.
Absolutely.
So hopefully by 2027, either it's Beavers or it's some other machine, but we expect to see some improvement in technology to make the process more...
Like the advocacy I began in your last segment, the advocacy is the journalists want to vote.
Indeed.
We have voters' card, and but because we're restricted to polling unit, and I think the only way we can do it, in my head now, because I know INEC will come up with more better options, is to make sure that wherever I am, I can vote.
Yeah.
But if it is, restricted to a particular area, journalists who are covering elections.
Okay, Kade, let's quickly take a pause. The results are about to be announced. Final results from the State Collation Center in Benin City, Edo State.
And subsequent declaration of the winner. And so I start. I, Professor Farouk Adamukuta, hereby certify that I am the returning officer for the 2024 Edo State Governorship election held on the 21st of September 2024. That the election was contested. The candidate received the following votes. Party AA, 222 votes. Party A, Party A, 222 votes. Party AA, 206 votes. Party AAC, 273 votes. Party ADC, 1,956 votes. Party ADP, 1,099 votes. Party APC, 291,667 votes. Party ABGA, 1,242 votes. Party APM, 151 votes. Party APP, 144 votes. Party BP, 217 votes. Party LP, 22,763 votes. Party NNPP, NNPP, 1,034 votes. Party NRM, 720 votes. Party PDP, 247,274 votes. Party PRP, 635 votes. Party SDP, 537 votes. Party YPP, 296 votes. Party ZLP, 254 votes. That Akwebola Monday of APC, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. Signed by the returning officer, Professor Farouk Adamukuta, this day, 22nd day of September 2024. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless Edo State. Thank you very much.
Well, of course, you can see the Edo State, is part of Edo State have been thrown into wide jubilation. It's been announced that Senator Monday Ukpewolo is the governor-elect. Right there, you can see Comrade Adams Oshomole. You can equally see the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, and of course the Senator-elect, Senator Monday Ukpewolo, the governor-elect of Edo State, as it were. Of course, the group right now, APC, is in wide jubilation across Edo State. That is expected largely. Of course, the discussion of the process that has brought him on will continue. But what today is, happening that nobody can change at the moment is that Senator Monday Okpebholo has been, announced as elected as the governor-elect of Edo State, which means that in the next 2 months, come November, I think November 11th, Obaseki would have left the government house to pave way for Senator Monday Okpebholo and, of course, his deputy, Denko, Dennis Idahosa. That is the story right now. Edo State people and Nigerians across the world. Let's just take a listen further to their jubilation.
Your name is Yahweh. You are the miracle working God. Your name is Yahweh. Glory be to God in the highest.
Manufacturing to their MOU today.
There was a lot of drama here last night, and your party was also involved in what happened here in the dead of the night. Now that it has been all concluded, do you think all that was justified?
Well, you see, what happened yesterday is somebody who said he's going to burn Nigeria. For you to see him in the premises where election materials are kept, it's dangerous. Obaseki is a dangerous person right now. And we are calling on the immigration to be watchful because the next move is for him to zap.
In spite of everything that has happened, is the government ready to stretch a hand of peace to all the parties?
He's going to form a government of
about MOU, but of course they talked about results manufactured. Don't you think that will be a major thorn in the flesh of this victory that you scored here today?
No, it's not possible, because when you talk, how do you manufacture results? You don't manufacture, because our process starts from the polling units, and the results you have seen there are results that emanated from the polling units, and it reflects what happened in the field as at that yesterday. And as I speak, the results that are being read out today are results that we already know through our situation room, because we are collecting them from our situation room. Exit poll already show that we are going to win the election.
And you believe that this exercise was transparent?
It is.
I feel very happy. I want to tell you that I'm starting from where I'm supposed to. And I want to let you also know that I would like to emulate what Agbado has done in Akwa Ibom State. Edo we receive a new transformation. By the grace of God, Edo is back again. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now listen very well. Everything and anything that God cannot do does not exist. And that is why we know that of their power. Those with wisdom know that power resides only with God. And those who win it on the planet Earth are only the few that God has so anointed. And that's why when some people say election is a do or die, we say no. It's about choice, it's about celebration of the power of the other citizens to hire and fire people who otherwise can even cite death sentence. Now, today, God by his infinite powers has decreed Senator Mode Akpakomiza alias Akpako Rescue. Some now call him Akpako Miracle because I don't need all of that to make up for the 8-year disaster of Obaseki and Aswed together. Yes. So on this day, I am first we give thanks to God Almighty that we did all those campaigns without casualties. That we did all those campaigns without any allegation against the candidates and any one of us visiting violence on anyone. Even when they planned and they did succeeded in killing his bodyguard in order to frighten him, God said, my son who I have anointed will not be frightened. So tonight, it can only be joy and joy and joy. I give all the praises to God our Creator that he has made his own son, who he has chosen to clean the mess of the outgoing and even not outgone Obaseki and the fake artificial intelligence he was going to bring. Edo will now be governed by a combination of a man enriched with native wisdom, a man familiar with the custom and tradition of Edo State, a man who by his personal lifestyle is humble, gentle, but focused, a man who has used his personal resources to show love and commitment to babies, to mothers, to the elderly, to children, and to community. We can call him a guy who has huge credentials in terms of community services. A man who just looked like me and said that he's younger, he's fresher, and he has better energy to do the job that God has now entrusted in his shoulders. So I am a very happy man, I am a fulfilled man, and now I ask God in his infinite powers to further enrich him with wisdom so that together he will make a difference. Let it be said, 10 years after his rule, people will say, during Senator Monday, now we get this school. During Senator Monday, now we get this hospital. During Senator Monday, now we get this road. For me, it's a personal fulfillment. And those who say there will be bloodbath, God has put them to shame. There is no single reported incident of anybody being shot during this election. There is no one who is in the hospital. So when the national acting chairman of PDP said there will be bloodbath, and people say no, there will be celebration. So for me, it is important there is no violence. Even those who refuse to sign peace agreement have been consumed by the war in their heart, not the war provided by anybody. So to God be the glory. Now, hello, ladies and gentlemen, I have the special honor, and I want you to listen, the special honor and rare privilege to produce a man who God has created and whose parents, knowing his future, decided to give him God's will. God's will, no man's will. Common Senate President of the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He has come to Edo, typical of him, to lie low, quiet, invisible, all in prayers that may the will of God prevail in this election. Who else can that be? The only Senate President in the history of Nigeria who, while he seated, encouraged, supported, mobilized, and did everything that was within his powers, legally and democratically and transparently, to ensure that one of his own colleagues, because he accepted us as his colleague, even though he's our boss in the Senate, to support one of us to become a governor. And I speak of no one else but the man whose parents know what he will be when they name him God's will. Akpabio, the uncommon senator of the 10th Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the man who has showed so much commitment to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision for renewed hope, and the man who is willing to take all the bullets to ensure that the ship of state remain afloat using his legislative powers, for which I am proud to say he is my Senate President. God's will, Akpabio. How do you feel on occasion like this?
Oshobaba has said it all. For me, I believe that this is a turning point in the politics of Edo. This is a turning point in the politics of Edo State. The will of God has been done today. I regard this day as a day of liberation.
You meant God's will?
Yes, I believe strongly that God's will has been done today in Edo State. Yes, and I also want you to know that the will of God for people is nothing but progress, happiness, joy, and prosperity. I believe strongly that the election of Edo, though very tense at the beginning, the outcome is a reflection of the confidence that Nigerians have continued to express in President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that his administration has made a mess on the ground, but they are doing their best to see how they can turn around the fortunes of Nigerians. I want to tell you to remain patient and continue to support the president, support his administration, and know that yes, even like what has happened in Edo now, is a clear reflection of what will happen in Ondo in the next year.
Okay, those two people, Nigerians across the world, yes. Of course, it's done and dusted. Edo State 2024 governorship elections has been concluded, and somebody has emerged, and his name is Senator Monday Okpebholo. He is currently the governor-elect of Edo State. He's going to take over from Godwin Obaseki, and in November we're expecting to assume office. Of course, just now we listened to Adams Oshomole, we listened to Godswill Akpabio, the Senate president. We listened to the candidate-elect himself. For Monday Okpebholo, he has said that he's going to continue from where Oshomole stopped in his remark. And he's going to dispense governance like Akpabio did for his own state when he was governor of his own state, as it were. Those are some of his early remarks and all of that. Of course, it remains to be seen. Like I said earlier, the process that have brought Senator Monday Okpebholo to become the governor of Edo State is one which conversation will continue. There is no doubt. But what definitely has come to stay, particularly at the moment, is that Senator Monday Okpebholo is elected the governor of Edo State in this electoral window. He is the governor-elect for Edo State governorship elections of 2024. And everything going according to plan, he will assume office in November, except, of course, if anything changes by way of court, the court process, which we are hearing that the PDP said they are going to go to court. Whatever the outcome of that will be, of course, nobody can tell. But what we all agree on is that Senator Monday Okpebholo has been declared elected, and he is currently the governor-elect of Edo State. On that note, I want to say a very big thank you to everybody who's been with us since yesterday, even the day before, that have followed this process. I want to say a very big thank you to all Edo State people, particularly Edo State people who have always tried to project justice. I want to say a very big thank you to everybody who has followed us on the Comrade Show, on Facebook, on YouTube, everywhere. And I equally want to enjoin you, if you are watching us right now, please follow us on Facebook, the Comrade Show on TCS blog, equally subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, tomorrow is going to begin a new conversation. Today is done and dusted. Senator Monday Ukbewulu is returned elected, and consequently, he is the governor-elect of Edo State. There are two issues here. The process that has brought in is a different conversation. But today he stands as the governor-elect of Edo State, who will take over from Governor Godwin Obaseki. And he will be our governor, the governor of those who voted for him and the governor of those who did not vote for him. For the sake of Edo State, he is going to require the support of Edo State people. How he governs Edo State is a different matter altogether that will be discussed along the way. But for now, he has a mandate for the next 4 years to superintend over the affairs of Edo State, to oversee the patrimony of Edo State people. My father would always say that you do not predict the temper of a chick still in its egg. We can only say that based on all of the things that have brought him on, we are very, some of us are not very hopeful that we are going to see anything like change in this administration. However, like somebody said earlier, we must give him the benefit of the doubt. But we are going to be here. May God keep all of us alive to keep monitoring events around his government. And of course, we're going to be talking about these issues, as they come. My name is Comrade Lamte Oreahi. It's been quite some long process. And I want to, exit this stage by saying, even though what has become normal in our own system is grossly abnormal in sane societies. That is to say that the election that we had was a flawed one, but to the extent of our election was flawed, as a matter of fact, is what is normal in our own site in Nigeria. And to that extent, because the abnormal has become normal in Edo State, and that abnormal in different climes that is normal in Edo State has presented to us a governor-elect in the person of Senator Monday Ukbewulu of the APC. I want to say congratulations to you, Your Excellency, Senator Monday Ukbewulu. To Edo State people, may God bless you all, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My name is Comrade Lamte Mahusa Oreahi. In the coming days, we shall be coming your way again. Thank you for joining us, for staying with us. And hopefully, we would have a better Edo State in the future. Bye for now.